Good afternoon. Here is the national news from BGI TV, Babagbagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the national news. Nigeria's House of Reps members demand minister's resignation over flawed figures. Governor Matawali reviews one thing hindering defeat of bandits. Taraba Assembly workers begin strike over outstanding allowance. Fire guards Nasarawa Police Plaza destroys property. Bandit abduct district head, 6 others in Zamfara. And on sports, Super Eagles arrive San Jose, Costa Rica friendly. Now the news in detail. Members of the House of Representatives from the Niger Delta on Monday urged the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Saidiya Umar Farouk, to resign following a recent claim that Bayelsa State was not among 10 most flood-hit states. The minister had said Jigawa was the state worst hit by flood this year. Lawmakers Frederick Agbedi, PDP Bayelsa, described the minister's statement as insensitive to the plight of the people of Niger Delta who lost life and property to the flood. The comments of the minister are very variant with the statement of the United Nations resident and humanitarian coordinator in Nigeria, Matthias Kemmel, who declared Bayelsa a disaster zone. We call on the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development to honorably resign her appointment as the Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, failing which Mr. President should relieve her of her appointment immediately, he said. Meanwhile, the National Emergency Management Agency yesterday experienced another devastating flooding in 2023 if required precautions were not taken by government at all levels. Moving to the next story in Zamfara State. Governor Bello Matawali of Zamfara State has suggested that informants are hindering the defeat of bandits in Nigeria. According to Matawali, without informants, bandits will be easily defeated in the country. The governor said this on Monday while receiving 5 daughters of a former accountant general of Zamfara, abducted and held for 7 months. They were presented to Matawali by the Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 10, Mr. Bello Sani Derjan, accompanied by the Commissioner of Police in Zamfara, Mr. Kolo Yusuf. Recall that the bandits took the 5 girls from their home in Fufuri in Bukundu local government area in March. The bandit released a video to social media on October showing the girls carrying sophisticated weapons and firearms and threatened to recruit them into banditry if the money they demanded was not paid. A combined effort of the police and other security operatives, however, led to the rescue of the girls unharmed. However, Matawali commended the security forces for the effort made and urged them to put an end to banditry in the state and the country at large. From Zamfara to Taraba State. Taraba State House of Assembly workers under the umbrella of Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASSEN, has commenced a warning strike to demand the release of the 7 years outstanding dressing allowance. The group, before taking its decision on Monday, had given a window of dialogue by issuing a 21 days and 7 days ultimatum at intervals to the state government to comply. The expiration of the 7 days notice this weekend without commensurate actions on their demands forced the union to embark on the warning strike. A source from the assembly who spoke to Vanguard said the warning strike is for 5 days only. He also said the union members also prevented workers from accessing the assembly. In a bulletin announcing the commencement of the strike action and signed by Chairman and Secretary of PASSEN, Ibrahim Yusuf and Abdullahi Abubakar, respectively, members were told to stay away from work. The bulletin in part also directed that the leadership of the union are to see to it that no staff is allowed into the premises of the government house. Going back to Nasarawa State, property worth millions of naira have been destroyed following a fire outbreak at the Power Plaza, Jos Road, Lafia, Nasarawa State. An eyewitness told correspondent that the fire outbreak was caused by an electricity spark in one of the shops around 1 a.m. on Tuesday morning. He said the fire burnt most of the properties in the building, which belonged to the Nigeria Police Force, before the Nasarawa State Fire Service officials arrived to put out the fire. He said the fire began around 1 a.m. on Tuesday morning. It burned properties worth millions of naira before the fire service people came. they still could not completely put out the fire until 7 a.m. this morning when they sent some more firefighters to the place. More than 7 shops were affected. A tailoring shop, a boutique, a solar shop, and other big businesses were burned to ashes. We go to Zamfara State. Mohammed Galadima, the district head of Kwangami village, and 6 others in the Zulmi local government area of Zamfara State have been kidnapped by bandits. A source told Daily Post that the armed terrorists abducted the victims on Monday. According to the source, there was confusion in the village as the residents tried all they could to escape the attack, saying that many people were injured. He explained that the district head and all the people were abducted from their houses and taken to the camp of the abductors. He said, "We are currently living in fear because the bandits are always around us, abducting our people and asking for money." He revealed that just recently, the terrorists abducted 10 people out of the village on their farmlands. They are still in captivity following their inability to pay the money requested. SP Mohammed Shehu, the State Police Public Relations Officer, could not be reached for comment on the incidents. If you're just joining, you are watching the national news from BGI TV. Last story is coming from the sports scene. A delegation of the Super Eagles of Nigeria arrived San Jose, capital of Costa Rica, on Sunday evening ahead of Thursday's international friendly match between both countries. The contingent, led by NFL Executive Committee member Otumba Sunday Dele Ajayi, touched down at Juan Santa Maria International Airport aboard Copa Airlines via Panama City at 10 p.m. local time, 5 a.m. on Monday, Nigerian time. A playing squad of 18 players, 2 coaches, and all the team officials traveled with the team for the friendly game lined for the Super Eagles by the Nigeria Football Federation. The Nigeria delegation were received by an official of the Costa Rica Football Federation. That ends the national news from BGI TV. Before we go, some major headlines. Nigeria's House of Reps members demand ministers' resignation over flawed figures. We also brought to you from Zamfara State. Governor Matawali reveals one team hindering defeat of bandits. Taraba assembly workers begin strike over outstanding allowance. And on sport, Super Eagles arrive San Jose, Costa Rica friendly on Thursday. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Bdùct Imo TV. Kindly subscribe. Click on the notification bell, select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bdùct Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bdùct Imo _22. Please follow all of these handles to enjoy all of our broadcasts. For more updates and advert placements, kindly dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Good afternoon.